You're listening to an archived Cabral Concept podcast. After listening to this show, check out the most up-to-date podcasts available at stephencabral.com/podcasts or search directly on iTunes. And now, welcome to the Cabral Concept, where board-certified naturopath and integrative health practitioner Dr. Stephen Cabral shares how he was diagnosed at the age of 17 with a life-altering illness and given no hope for recovery. It was only after studying and traveling all over the world did he discover how to combine ancient Ayurvedic healing practices with state-of-the-art naturopathic and functional medicine to fully rebalance the body and re-energize it with life. It's time to discover how to get well, lose weight, and finally feel alive again. And now, here's your host, Dr. Stephen Cabral.
So happy to have you with me here today on this Training Thursday because I'm excited to share with you a done-for-you 4-week exercise program. I don't think I've ever created a whole month's program for you before. I want to take you through that today. I'm going to give you the option to make it 3 days a week or up to 5 days a week. I'll take you through the resistance training. I'm going to take you through the different types of cardio. I'm going to allow you to choose the amount of volume, the amount of sets, the amount of reps that you do so that you can really customize it for yourself. I want to give you a deep insight into how I've been creating programs now for people for, I think it's been 20 years or it's actually a little over 20 years now, where I've been helping clients to really go through the process of transforming their body through exercise. It's such an important thing. You have to understand is that every single one of us, no matter what the body type, no matter what the dosha, no matter where we're at in life, we need to be moving our body. The human body was meant to move. It really was. It's the way that we keep our metabolism strong. It's the way that we actually balance our immune system and we fight that aging process. So one thing is that I have to say is I know that not all of us love to exercise, but it's honestly mandatory. It really is. So let's just do it as part of what we need to do to keep our body healthy, even if we don't always love it, right? There might be other things that you would rather be doing, but we do need to incorporate it into our life. And that's also why I believe, and I see this again, we have a studio in Boston. I had that studio for a long time, we've done many, many thousands of appointments there, and we do many, many thousands of appointments on a yearly basis. And so we have a lot of data. What we see is this, is that if you can get in 3 days a week of exercise, you're going to be so far ahead of the curve. So if you only did the Monday, Wednesday, Friday, the Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, whatever it might be, even Saturday, Sunday, Wednesday, if you can only get one weekday, you're going to get a lot of the benefits that even if you didn't add the 4th or 5th day. So don't think you need to do 5 days in order to get all the benefits of exercise. Get in at least 3 and you'll be well on your way to boosting your metabolism, feeling great, looking great, really enjoying all those benefits of exercise because it goes so much deeper than outward appearance. The majority of it is inward strength of body, fighting off osteoporosis, fighting off entropy, not letting the body's muscles atrophy, starting to get just weaker as you age. We don't want that, right? We want to keep that core strong, remove those lower back issues. So that's why I'm excited to share with you this specific program. One of the things that a lot of people don't know is I actually still train clients at my studio it's only a half a day a week still, but I still do it every single week. And that's Tuesday mornings from 7 a.m. till noon. And I've never given it up. It's because I always loved it. It was the very first way that I got into this health and fitness realm. And I love working with my clients. I love keeping myself in the game. I love my team. My team is filled with 8 other amazing personal trainers and nutritionists. They help clients with both training and nutrition, overall lifestyle. Like you're going to see a program today that we create. You're going to see how in-depth it is. And that's why if you're working with a local personal trainer, I can't recommend it enough because if you work with a great personal trainer, they're going to be able to help you at such a deep level in terms of nutrition and really customizing this for your body. So since I always like to be able to help as many people as possible. So the work I'm going to give you today is more advanced because I actually created this program not for a client of mine that I work with on a Tuesday morning, but actually a good friend of mine. And he asked me to create a program for him. And I said, absolutely. I said, if you're going to do it, I want to create it for you. And I want you to get the best program you can. I already know your body. I know your contraindications. I know what your injuries were in the past. So I'm going to help you with that. And I know that you're going to do it because you're someone that's dedicated to your health. You're someone that's dedicated to exercise. So I'm happy to do that. Now, he's more advanced though. So what I'm going to do though is I'm going to show you how advanced the program can get, but then how you can take it to your level, whether you're intermediate or beginner. So hopefully this is going to be helpful for you. I want to start to take you through it. Here's what it's going to be. You're going to be able to choose 2 to 3 of the workouts that work for you, resistance training and or cardio, ideally 3 for the week. You can choose 1 to 2 of the cardio. And again, it can make up 5 days a week if you'd like that. I want 2 days off for my friend, and ideally I'd like 2 days off for you as well. Go back to last week's podcast on exercise and Ayurveda. You'll find out how much is right for you and your body type. And then you can choose this. You can choose to do all of the volume. Maybe you do 4 days a week, but you only do 50% of the volume because you're a beginner. That works great. Nothing wrong with that. Start with less always and build yourself up. And you'll see, I always recommend an unloading week in the first place. And that means anytime you start a new exercise program, whether it's one of the ones I created in A Man's Guide to Muscle and Strength, which by the way is for women as well. The publisher of the book called it that, even though that's not what I wanted to call it. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. Always start with the lighter week and then work your way up, right? Get your body used to the exercises. So in the program that I'm going to give you many different modifications that you can use for yourself. So for sure, a beginner, intermediate, or advanced user can use this program. You'll choose 3 to 5 days total per week. And usually it's only about 4 weeks that you'll want to use a program because after 4 weeks, the body begins to plateau, which means you can't lift a heavier weight. You can't necessarily do more reps, although this program is not meant to change the reps. The reps should always stay the same. Only the weight should be the single variable that you change for the workout. So like my studio in Boston, we have 2 practices. One's functional medicine, the private concierge practice. We work with people literally all over the world through Skype and in person. And then we have the other studio on Tremont Street in Boston, which is the personal training and nutrition studio. And that's called Stephen Cabral Studio. If you're in the local Boston area, of course, we'd love to help you. But one thing I just want you to understand is that we do typically switch up all programs after 4 weeks. And that's because as the body plateaus, we need to switch it up in order to get better results. So, as the saying goes, what's the best program you could be doing? Well, it's usually the one that you're not currently doing right now. I love that saying. I don't believe that you should change up your program necessarily every single time. I don't have an issue with that when you become more advanced. But really, I like to see people adapt to an exercise, max out that exercise. Doesn't mean do 1 rep, right? That's not what it means. But get the most out of it. That's what it means. And then move on to a new program. Okay, so like I said, this is literally how we write up programs in my Boston studio. All the personal trainers are highly skilled, National Academy of Sports Medicine certified, exercise physiologists. They could be National Strength and Conditioning Association, CSCS specialists. So all sorts of different things. This is how they create them. And that's because if you are someone that's looking to go into personal training or you want to add this to your repertoire, I want to show you exactly how we develop it so that you can know it for yourself. And then if you don't care about that, that's okay. This is going to be an exercise program for you. So here's what I want you to know. I wrote this program with the understanding that my friend has had a history of lower back stiffness or lower back pain, potentially an imbalanced core. I haven't got to do an assessment with him, but a potentially imbalanced, weakened core, potentially from tighter hip flexors and tighter hamstrings. He does sit down for a living. That's going to lead to those tighter hamstrings and the tighter hip flexors. He has a good amount of muscle on his body, so that can lead to more of the stiffness. And then also, I think he's around 6 feet tall as well, so a little on the taller side too. He's also had a history of rotator cuff issues, so I want to make sure that I be careful with any overhead pressing and to make sure that he's really working on stabilization of the rotator cuffs. That will go into my warm-up as well. He's only looking to lose about 5 to 10 pounds. I don't want that to necessarily come from his workout. I'm going to be recommending a 7 to 14-day Dr. Cabral detox to help him lose that toxic water weight, toxic inflammation, and the body fat as well. So his workout will help with body fat loss, but really I want him to do that through a 7 to 14-day Dr. Cabral detox in conjunction with the workout program, and then follow the maintenance plan of the Dr. Cabral daily protocol for everyday life, being like the smoothie in the morning with the greens and to help with a lot of anti-inflammatory based issues because he has a history of inflammation as well, elbows, other parts of the joints as well. More of the Pitta body type, that's his body type, so I want to be careful because Pittas are more prone to inflammation. So again, I want a good anti-inflammatory based protocol. I would also recommend the omega-3 support for him as well. That will help with the inflammation. Okay. And the last thing he wrote in was that I wanted to be able to do a spin class with his wife as well, because she enjoys doing that. And then also not neglect the biceps and triceps because, of course, what guy doesn't like to work his arms, right? All right. So we're going to get this in here and women as well. I'm not excluding, but, I've never met a guy out there who says my arms are too big. I've been doing this quite a while. So let's get right into it. Whenever I'm not working with someone in person, I always typically do one warm-up for all three programs, all three resistance programs. And I do that for a specific reason. During their workouts, they're going to have to learn about 4 to 6 new exercises per program. So what's that? Somewhere around 18 or so exercises that they're going to have to learn. Okay, well, I could add in about 12 more warm-up exercises that they have to learn. So that's just too much new stuff to learn, all right? Especially when they're on their own and they're basically a virtual client, meaning like I'm not working with them in person, I'm working with them essentially online, right? So what I do is I just give 3 exercises that are to be done before every workout. Now, a lot of people like to go for a walk on a treadmill, heat up the body, do a little upright bike, totally fine. I'm all for that. That's great. That's called the general warm-up. What I want to do is get them into a dynamic warm-up that's going to work their body in all 3 planes of motion. All right. So what I'm starting with for a warm-up here, and again, I'm going to lay out this workout. Not only that, I'm going to list it for you at StephenCabral.com/951. Just go to StephenCabral.com/951 for a free month of workouts right here. You don't have to sign up. You don't have to do anything. You literally just go to the webpage and I will write out the whole workout, all the different days with the warm-up in there. And if you don't know an exercise, well, there's this little website you may have heard before called YouTube. And on YouTube, they have videos of everything you can imagine under the sun. It's something insane, like 10,000 videos are uploaded per minute on YouTube. Something completely insane. So obviously I'm being tongue-in-cheek here. And I always want to help you, like without a doubt. So let me know if I can help. But most of these videos have already been created. One more thing, just that I'm thinking about it. I'm wondering if anyone out there would be interested in, we don't offer this right now, but if anyone would be interested in us offering online personal training, meaning that you would get a workout program of the month and maybe we'd even add in personal training coaching calls so they could take you through the workout. I don't know if that'd be of interest to anyone. I would love to hear from you. Simply go to CabralSupportGroup.com. And if you're interested in online monthly workouts working with one of our personal trainers, a real life personal trainer, let me know. Or if you just want a workout created for you, if that's a service that you'd be interested in, meaning that everything is done for our community. That's the truth. If you're interested in that, let us know. Go to CabralSupportGroup.com. It's a free Facebook group. Let us know. Or also on Instagram. Just let me know today on today's post, which is the 951 podcast post. All right. So without further ado, let's get into the workout. The warm-up, the dynamic warm-up is done before every workout starts. So you're going to do something called a stick cook squat. Now, it just means you're going to hold a dowel, a wooden dowel, which is a wooden stick over your head. If you don't have that, that's totally fine. You're just going to put your hands over your head. What you're going to do is let your body fall forward, basically trying to touch your toes. Most people won't be able to yet, but you're going to stretch those hamstrings. Then you're going to squat down and look forward. When you're squatting down, you're going to raise those arms overhead, and then you're going to stand back up. You're going to repeat that 10 times. That's called a cook squat. It stretches your hamstrings. It opens up those hips like the quadratus laborum above the hips, those muscles right there, and it starts to stretch your lats as you reach for the sky. All right, great exercise to get warmed up with. After you're done doing that for about 8 to 10 reps, you're going to do what's called a transverse plane lunge. You're going to go side to side, right side, then left side. All right, right side to the middle, and then to the left side, and then back to the middle. Well, a transverse plane lunge allows you to work on balance, proprioception, which is getting your balance within space and reacting as you land, as you step and lunge and sit back in your hip. You're sitting back in your glutes. You're not letting your knees go over your toes, and then you're stepping back to your beginning position. And the third exercise is called hand walkouts. I actually spoke about that a couple of weeks ago. Yes, the 5 best exercises you're not doing on episode 937. So check that out. So hand walkouts, really amazing. You're going to put your hands on the floor in front of you. You're going to walk all the way out and walk all the way back in. Now, why would I choose this that also stretches the hamstrings as well? Well, because like my friend, there's a lot of people out there with very tight hamstrings. So for the first program that I'm working with him, I'm trying to correct that hamstring tightness. And then also he has a history of rotator cuff-based issues. So at the same time, I'm giving him an exercise that's going to warm up his shoulders, engage his core, which we talked about, maybe a little bit of that weakened core, and I'm going to work on stabilizing the shoulders, and I'm going to work on warming them up before we get in the exercise. So that's why there's always a reason why you're choosing exercises for someone. Now, again, this can be used by anyone out there. It's great, but this was specifically formulated for him, so you get to see how that works. Okay, next up, we're going to get into our strength-based day. Remember, there's 3 days of resistance training. I'm not going to get too in-depth. I'm going to allow you to look this up if it's something of interest to you. Today, I want you to look at the macro. This is how we design an advanced program for clients and how you can use it for yourself. And then if you are interested, if you want this workout, now in the future, we would add videos, we would add photos, all that. But if this interests you, you can literally create this for yourself. You can turn this into your own workout. Well, our strength-based day is going to be 5 sets of 5 reps. Now, it's lower reps. A lot of people wouldn't have done this before, but that's why it's great as something new to shock the body, different for the body. So it's 5 sets, but the first of those 5 sets is only about 50 to 60% of whatever the max is going to be. Now, the max is only 5 reps. We're not doing a 1 rep max. We're doing a 5 rep max. So the first exercise is dumbbell incline chest press. So remember, for a strength-based day, the exercises can't be fancy. All right, if you're a personal trainer out there, if you're a strength coach, when you go heavy, you don't get fancy. When you go heavy, it's time to go back to the basics, the classics. Jay Ferruggia is one of my favorites at doing that. He's like, you can't be messing around with all like these stability ball exercises when you're trying to add strength and you're trying to add all of these great things to your body that we know that you're supposed to do. Jay and I are basically the same type of philosophy, believers in the same type of training. But going back to the basics is where it's at. This is a strength-based day. It's important for everyone. So dumbbell incline chest press. I chose this instead of a cable-based incline chest press that I wanted to give him for a little bit more stability in the shoulders, but he might be doing it by himself. So this way here, he can just kick the dumbbells up with his knees to his shoulders, and maybe his max is like, let's say it's 70-pound dumbbells. Okay, well, you're just going to take the starting point, which might be 35s or 40s, and get warmed up with those, and progressively each set move up towards those 70-pounders. 5 reps for each set. Then he's going to go right from dumbbell chest press over to barbell Romanian deadlifts. Now, this is to help strengthen those hamstrings that we've already warmed up and stretched out, strengthen the glutes, and work on his lower back. He's only going to go as far as he can without rounding the lower back. Really great exercise, amazing exercise, one of the top exercises out there for the body. So we're just going to do those 2 in a row, rest for about 90 seconds or so, get back into it. All right, after he completes those for 5 sets. Now remember, the week 1's only going to be 3 to 4 sets, and then week 2 will be 4 to 5, and then he'll get into 2 weeks to 3 weeks of 5 sets. Okay. Then after that is going to be a dumbbell 1-arm row, supersetted, which means just back to back, you're going to do them, with a barbell backward lunge. Well, what does that mean? Well, he's going to do dumbbell 1-arm rows, supported. I talked about them unsupported previously on the 5 best exercises you're not doing right now. Just put one hand on a rack, not knee on the bench. I don't like the knee on the bench. The knee on the bench is too much support. It's unnatural. Put one hand on a bench or one hand on the dumbbells and row up that weight with the other arm, okay? After that, you're going to walk over to a barbell rack. You're going to put the barbell along your traps, just like you would for a back squat, but you're going to keep your chest up and backwards lunge backwards. Why am I doing this? Well, I want to now open up the hip flexors, okay? The hip flexors weren't necessarily getting opened up in the Romanian deadlift. They are if you squeeze your glutes to the top. But with that backwards lunge, you are opening up those hip flexors and you're strengthening the glutes. Great exercise, neglected exercise, huge fan of it, 5 sets of 5. Okay, same thing, you'll warm up your first set with those as well. Now, if you don't have a barbell, you can simply put kettlebells, rack them near the chest, or put dumbbells on your shoulders. After this workout, I'm also asking my friend to do intervals. So he's going to do 20 seconds on, 40 second off interval sprints. He's going to do that for anywhere between 5 and 10 rounds of those, all right? So he's doing a slower pace, strength-based day, not necessarily boosting the heart rate too much. And then when his workout's over, he's going to do, let's say, 5 rounds of 20-second sprints, whether it's on an upright bike or sprinting outside on a track for 20 seconds. And then he's going to take 40 seconds off where he's just moving really slowly, and then followed by 20-second sprint again, and do that 5 times, maybe 8, maybe at his max 10 times, all right? So that's the strength-based day. We get strength with a little bit of intervals after it. All right. Now, the hypertrophy day is a middle-of-the-ground rep day. That was a low rep day with the strength-based day. Now, hypertrophy for him is going to be 4 sets of 10 reps. Now, that's a lot of volume. That's 40 reps, right? 40 reps. Before the 5x5, we were doing 25 reps. Well, this is okay. We're doing the first set at 60% of his max. So remember, the first set is not all out. It's a set for that body part, but not all out. And then he'll do 3 sets after that of 10 reps as well, okay? So in this workout, you're going to see lots of back work and postural work and retraction, pulling the chest open. Why will you see that? It's because I'm working on his posture. I'm working on helping to strengthen those rotator cuffs. And I know that, like most guys and girls, that his chest might be a little overdeveloped and it might be a little tight right now. So I want to pull it all back, work on his posture, and also understanding that your back is essentially 1/3 of your upper body, especially the lats. So we need to strengthen all those muscles, rhomboids, lats, mid-trapezius muscles, all of that. So straightforward, we're going to have him kneeling down on both knees. We're going to be using the low cables, 2 handles, and he's going to be pressing that weight above his head. He's going to allow one arm to come down at a time and then press up with that arm, and the other one's going to come down. This is called an alternating shoulder press, kneeling down on both knees. Why kneeling? So that I take any cheat, any momentum, any swing out of it. I'm keeping his glutes engaged, his body's upright, and he's working on his core at the same time. Great way to do it, strengthening glutes, strengthening the core. And why cables? Well, cables allow you to actually turn the hands slightly in and take the pressure off those rotator cuffs. The tension is great for building up all the stabilizers in the shoulders as well. So he's going to do that for 20 reps total, 10 aside, alternating back and forth, up and down, up and down. Great exercise done with cables. If you don't have cables, you'll use a band. Remember, where there's a will, there's a way. There's always an alternate way to do these things. All right. The dumbbell one-arm cone reach to row. What's he going to do? Well, he's going to get on one leg, his left leg. He's going to reach back behind him with that right leg. And then with his right hand, he's going to reach towards a cone or a dumbbell that's just turned upright. He's going to try to touch that cone and then stand up tall, pull the dumbbell back to his right hip, and then do it again. And he's going to do each side for 10 repetitions. Amazing exercise for the glutes and hamstring. And he's also retracting that dumbbell. Even though the dumbbell's light, it might be 15 pounds or so. He's going to pull it back to his side and work on his posture. And the last one is going to be weighted dips. Why did I put in weighted dips there? Well, it's giving him a little bit of chest work, but the tricep work that he was looking for. He wants to make sure we don't neglect his arms. Dips are a great way, if you don't go too deep and overstretch the shoulder, which is called too much shoulder flexion, into working the triceps. Great exercise. Great for working the chest. Great stabilizing exercise. So we'll have him do weighted dips. What does that mean? Well, once he can hit 10 reps on his own by his own body weight. Now, if you're doing this on your own, you can do assisted dips. You can use a machine called a Gravitron or something like that to assist you at the gym. If you can't do it, keep your feet on the ground and use a chair behind you. Remember, where there's a will, there's a way. And so what he's allowing himself to do now is get more weight. You can put on a weighted belt, not like a weight belt to cinch it up tight, but actually to hold weight below him if he chooses to do that, or wear a weighted vest once he gets to more than 10 reps. He can add a little bit of weight. Okay, so he's going to do those 3 exercises in a row. That's called a tricep. He's going to rest 90 seconds and repeat 1, 2, or maybe even 3 more times as the weeks progress. The second tricep that he's going to do after he completes the first one is alternate grip chin-ups. What does that mean? Well, he's going to do chin-ups, whether it needs to be assisted. He can get a little bit of assistance by wrapping a band around his knee or using the Gravitron. Or he can add weight if 10 reps is too easy for him, right? It all depends on where you're at fitness level-wise. One hand is going to be over, one hand's going to be under. So basically like one half's a chin-up, one half's a pull-up. And he's just going to switch his hands with every set. So after he finishes one set, well, the next time around, he'll put his left hand over and his right hand under, and then he'll go right hand over and left hand under. Very, very simple. And this allows him to get the benefit of the internal rotation of the shoulder and one where it's basically externally rotated. Really great exercise. Love this. Not a lot of people have done it before. So it's a good way to do it. And then he's going to do 2 kettlebells racked, which basically just means held up in front of the chest. And he's going to do a box step up. The box is going to be about his knee height. And he's going to do 10 reps on each side. That's represented by 2 times 10, right? If I wanted him to do alternating sides, I would write 20. But a lot of people I like to do just one side at a time. And the reason is to focus on the muscle, right? Focus and understand that you're trying to push through your heel. You're trying to work that front glute. Don't rock back on the leg that you're stepping down with every time. Keep your weight forward on the leg that's on the box and then drive back up. Really, really important. All right, great exercise. And it's very functional, right? Stepping up is functional. And then I'm giving him barbell drag curls. If you don't have a barbell, use dumbbells. If you don't have dumbbells, use a band. Remember, you can do this. And a drag curl is literally, a lot of people don't know this, but you're going to drag your hands up the side of your body so you keep your elbows way behind you, and it literally forces a lot of length tension relationship, and it makes those biceps really squeeze hard. Great exercise, but remember, we have a reach to a row. We have chin-ups, which works the biceps. And if he's racking those kettlebells, he's working his biceps from an isometric position. So by the time he gets to barbell curls, his biceps are going to be on fire. So this is a great way. We didn't neglect the arms, but we also got it into a day that's going to boost his metabolism to a greater degree because it's not just an arm day, which are working overall small muscles in general. All right, so that's the hypertrophy day. The next day is the volume day. This is a circuit. This is a metabolic boost. We're going to get that heart rate going. I know that he does some martial arts, so this is going to help with his cardio. Great. It's basically 5 exercises in a row for 3 to 4 rounds, right? After each round, now this round's going to take you about 5 minutes. After the round's over, it's not just the 90-second rest that we usually do. We're going to do a 5-minute rest. If it takes you 5 minutes to complete, we're going to rest 5 minutes, and then we're going to do it again and again. I love circuits as well, right? So this is a little bit more volume, which means higher reps, which then means what? Lighter weight. Okay, so we're going to do side-to-side push-ups. We're going to use a plyo box in the middle. We're going to do push-up to one side, walk over the box, push-up to the other. Let's say you can't do push-ups. What could you do? Well, you could do hand walkovers, where literally you're not doing a push-up, but you're walking your hands over a box in the middle. And again, all of these can be looked up. Then the next exercise is going to be a one-legged squat to a box or a bench. So he's going to keep one leg up in the air the whole time, sit down in the box, and then you're going to stand back up, not letting that other leg touch. Each leg is going to be for 10 repetitions. What if you can't do it? Just raise the box. That's it. Go higher until you can get 10 reps balanced on one leg. Then each week, just lower the box. Don't add weight. Just lower the box until you can go lower and lower. All right, amazing exercise. Needed to be done by anyone, no matter what the age. I do that with clients that are 80 plus years old, a one-leg box squat. All right. The side plank. Now, this is, you start with basically your forearm on your side, your elbow below your shoulder, your whole body's straight, you push your hips up in the air, and your feet are stacked. It's like a side plank. That's what it's called, side plank. Now, you can make this as hard as you want. You can go forearm down, one leg up in the air, or you can do one hand on the ground, so there's no forearm down, hand on the ground, hips up in the air, and then when you get really good, you can do hand on the ground, one leg up in the air, the top leg. That's the hardest. Now, work up to 30 seconds per side at whatever level works for you. The next exercise is called an alternating split lunge jump. Love this exercise. It's going to get the heart rate cranking. You're going to open up the hip flexors. You're going to be explosive because you're going to jump up in the air, land with the opposite leg in front. Jump in the air, land with the opposite leg in front, cushioning down into a lunge. Great exercise. And the last one is called medicine ball overhead slams. Love this exercise as well. You're going to take a medicine ball, you're going to reach way overhead and behind you, and then slam it down on the ground. Hold on to it tight, but slam it down. Over the head, back down, 15 to 20 times. This is the only exercise that's weighted, that's not body weight. So you can just use a 5 pound, 6 pound, 10 pound, 15 pound medicine ball. That's it. You're going to use it, you're going to hold it overhead, and you're going to slam it down on the ground. If you don't have a medicine ball, use a weight, put down a mat, and then just hit the weight towards the mat. That's it. And you're going to flex your abs every single time. Love this, really functional-based exercise. And again, after you're done with that circuit, you will rest about 5 minutes before repeating. All of these resistance days can be done by anyone. Modify it based on your level. Now, this is an advanced program. The programs I would create for you in the future, if this is interested of a service, I would do it at more of a beginner intermediate level. This is more advanced. When you're doing an advanced program, I do recommend more of like a one-on-one training, or at least work with a online coach or something like that to really get the nuances for your body. Again, this is more advanced, but I want to show you how advanced it can get, right? It can get even more advanced. Like in A Man's Guide to Muscle and Strength, I was giving you tempo, all of that. I don't think most people need that. But anyway, those are 3 resistance days, 1 lower rep but heavier weight, 1 mid-range day rep-wise, moderate weight, and then 1 high rep day, lower weight, mostly just body weight. Great to work the body in different ways. Love these types of routines. I do them for myself as well. Now, 2 cardio days. We already got 1 interval day with the strength day. The hypertrophy day is going to keep the heart rate going, and the volume day basically is cardio and a workout in the same day. So definitely choose that one if you're only doing a couple workouts. All right. Now, spin. This is an easy one. He and his wife like to do spin. Simple. Takes the mind out of it. I think spin classes can be great. Choose your favorite spin location. There's great energy. There's great music. Go do a spin class. Have fun. Enjoy yourself. And you'll sweat it out. Trust me, during a spin class. Just don't go overboard. Just do a 45-minute class. Don't do any of these like super long classes. Don't do the ones where you're like lifting weights on the bike. Like none of that's necessary. Go for a bike ride. in a spin class, enjoy it, or get on a spin bike yourself. Do your own intervals if you want on your own. But an interval day on an upright bike can be absolutely fantastic. You can even do your own 5-minute warm-up and then go hard for 30 seconds and then rest for 60, 90 seconds. Go hard for 30 seconds, rest for 60, 90 seconds. Super easy. That's a great interval day as well, 5-minute cool down. All right. And then I want him to do, this is the 5th day, I want him to do a cardio endurance day. A lot of people are missing this because they don't see the relevance, but for overall cardiovascular health, for oxygenating the body, and using it as almost like an active recovery day can be great. What I want him to do is I want him to go for basically a 5K jog. Now, if your knees aren't up for it, your hips aren't up for it, you don't want that type of abrasion on your body, I get it. I'm good with that. Use an upright bike day, but don't make it intervals, okay? Go for about 30 minutes. That's it. That's what I want. So I want 30 minutes of basically of an endurance-based cardio day. It's going to actually help to remove a lot of, calcium ions, lactic acid, going to help to clear that. It's because it's one of the only days where you're hyperoxygenating the body. You're not doing that with interval training. So I want him to go for a 5K run, which is 3.1 miles, and I want him to work up to doing that in 30 minutes. Now, do a 3-minute to 5-minute warm-up without a doubt. Cool down, stretch afterwards, all of that's great. But if that doesn't work, do whatever you want. Meaning do the elliptical, do the free runner, do the upright bike, but go for about 30 minutes of keeping your heart rate somewhere around 60% to 70% of your max. I've already told you how to calculate your max before in a previous podcast. And what I want you to do is basically just be able to stay at a nice steady state for approximately 30 minutes. That's it. Maybe do a 5-minute warm-up, 5-minute cool down. That's 40 minutes total. And if you don't have that much time, that's okay. Do a 3-minute warm-up, 3-minute or so cool down, and that will leave you with 24 minutes, right? So that's what I want. What I want is just one cardio endurance day for him. And this is one of the most well-rounded programs you can get. If you want to do one extra day, you can do some hatha yoga for stretching. That wasn't his intention. His intention was to, strengthen the body, build up the body. Not necessarily, because this can be done by anybody not looking to build up their body, but really a well-rounded program. And I do recommend foam rolling after every workout, and I recommend stretching after every workout. This only has to take maybe 5 minutes to 10 minutes, but it will be very, very valuable. And you can also do it just at home. Like watching TV, you can foam roll. You can stretch at home that night as well. It doesn't have to be right after the workout, although as the body's already warmed up, that's the best time to stretch, without a doubt, is when your body's fully warm. So stretch those hamstrings, stretch the hip flexors, stretch the lats, get that body open, stretch open the chest. All of those are absolutely great. So hopefully this was helpful. I don't know. This is the first time I've ever done this type of podcast. I need your feedback. I would love to hear your feedback. Go to Instagram, just my name, Stephen Cabral. Let me know on today's podcast, which is 9:51. Is it 9:51, I believe? Go to stephencabral.com/951 for today's workout. I will list it all right there. And also let me know at cabralsupportgroup.com. If you would like more of a beginner intermediate program delivered every month, if that's a service you would like to see, let me know. We won't be able to do it right away, but in the future, I always like to know what the community wants. So always let me know. That's it. I just love your feedback. Appreciate you being a part of this community. And hopefully you enjoyed this workout. Hopefully my friend enjoys this workout as well. Take care, everyone. I'll talk with you tomorrow. Did you know that the body really only becomes sick or imbalanced in only 2 ways? Over time, you become deficient in vital nutrients, and you also accumulate toxins internally and from the environment. As those nutrients diminish and you increase your total toxic load, your body then begins to show the first signs of dis-ease. It's actually quite predictable, and the good news is that if we know how you began to fill up that proverbial rain barrel, we also know how to empty it to begin the healing process. I was fortunate enough to learn this ancient healing process from my mentor after suffering from debilitating diseases for close to a decade. It was only when I began to implement these techniques did I finally overcome my illnesses and go on to live a life of energy and vitality that I now enjoy. I'd like to share with you now what I discovered after traveling all over the world and how to combine the best of ancient healing wisdom with state-of-the-art science. Allow me to teach you exactly how I've been able to help over 250,000 people to empty their rain barrel and begin to transform their body and lives into what they've always hoped they could be. To get your copy of the international bestseller, The Rain Barrel Effect, simply go to stephencabral.com/rainbarrel.